This is day 73, and after my meditation this morning, I was looking at some of the notes I recently took from watching Michael Beckwith, and I wanted to share two of these things with you that really stood out for me and resonated with me as it relates to my feeling state today after my meditation. He says here, a belief system. I'm sitting right in front of a window because the breeze is so fantastic and it's like 90 degrees outside. So, okay, a belief system is not going to help you after a while. It's in the practice which leads to the personal experience. Now, this is deeply resonating with me and maybe with you too, because I have been working on my belief system since I was 18 years old, really. But I got in the science of mind and spirit philosophy back in 1991, and I aggressively stepped onto a education path, a spiritual education path that basically took me deep inside myself so that I could get face to face with my beliefs, my belief systems, how they were operating, what were inside them, whether or not they were still mine, and doing that wonderful, profound, and life-changing work. However, this idea of after a while your beliefs no longer serving you is totally resonating with me. After all these years on the path, what's much more needed now, and what I've been stepping into without really realizing it, but now I do, is my personal experience of the thing itself. I think Joel Goldsmith calls it practicing the presence. And so meditating for an hour every day has taken my beliefs out of a system, and because of the practice, has put me into a personal experience. And that is where it's at. I mean, whether you're watching my videos or Michael Beckwith's videos or somebody else's videos, at some point you've got to choose to begin your own practice so that you can have your own personal experience. Because in the experience are the revelations and the insight and the growth and the transformation and the dying to the old and making oneself available to the new. And so I have made that leap from beliefs to experience. And Michael Beckwith said something so powerful to me at that retreat. He said, there's no way I could be doing what I'm doing and standing up in front of people and saying what I'm saying if it was just my belief, if it was just theory, if it was just a philosophy. There's no way. It has to be coming from a personal experience. And you know what I'm saying? I know you understand that. You know, at some point it's like, well, we all have beliefs, we all have theories, we all have opinions. I want to know from experience, and as good as it is for you to know from my experience or somebody else's, the truth is that the real deal is when you choose to have your own personal experience, because that's where it's at. The other thing he talks about is, how am I going to act? See, one of the things that Michael Beckwith and Kyle Cease have been helping me do is to completely redesign my questions. I've been stuck in a pattern of questions that usually began with the word why or how. Incredibly limiting questions come from those two words, in my experience. And for the most part, they come out of a fear that I don't know, a fear that there's a right way. And that's a really amazing topic in and of itself. But Michael Beckwith said, how am I going to act from the consciousness that all of my needs are met? This is a contemplative opportunity. If you're taking a leap and just joining me in this idea that in the invisible realm, in the spiritual realm, all of our needs are met. Okay, so we go back to, well, how's that possible? Well, the rose, right? So all of the rose is packed into the seed. And all of what the seed needs to become the rose is in the seed. So in that way, all of its needs are met. It's a process of cracking open and emerging as the rose. So this is a leap. And this is a powerful shift to really dwell on this. How am I acting if my consciousness, wait, let me get it right. How am I going to act from the consciousness that all of my needs are met? This is a super powerful thing. I want you to join me in thinking about this. Maybe just pick one area of your life where you can, at this time, lay that over it. All of my needs are met. But what it does for me is it takes me out of the material and puts me completely into the spiritual. It takes me out of the world of effects and puts me into my own inner effects. It has my senses not telling me from the outside in, but from the inside out. One of the ways I would be acting, truly coming from the consciousness that all of my needs are met, peace. Peace of mind, calm certainty, an eagerness to see how it's all going to unfold, a welcoming, and ultimately the mode of receptivity. This is something I've been dwelling on the last 24 hours. If all of my needs are met, if everything I desire is already done energetically in the invisible vortex of my life, and my role as a creator is to speak it as if it appears, to speak it as if it's already here, even though there's evidence that it's not, to speak it as if it is, so that it has a bridge to cross over from the invisible to the visible. How am I acting inside the story that I'm telling that it's already done? And it's this idea of receptivity. You know, we're taught that we have to, be exhausted at the end of the day as a indication that we worked really hard and you got to make things happen. You got to go out there and beat the pavement. You know, our formula for success and successful living has been doing. And not to say there aren't moments when doing this isn't appropriate, because of course that's not true. However, this idea of being receptive and have receptivity be your action step blows the roof off the joint. It completely takes everything we've ever learned and throws it upside down, and it makes your head hurt because you're like, wait, what? Not do? So think on this, because I am stepping into this new experiment of being a receiver of the gift. I'm literally opening up my arms and my hands throughout the day, reminding myself, oh yeah, I'm receiving. You can give it to me. My arms, my heart, my mind, my consciousness, I'm open to receive whatever it is that is seeking to emerge. Because the fullness of life is always seeking an outlet. It's always seeking an outlet. It's always seeking that crack of least resistance. So I'm trying to widen that crack of least resistance. I'm trying to shift my attention, shift my way of thinking, shift my consciousness into this idea of, oh, the gift has already been given. Let me receive it in my thinking, in my words, in my heart space, and see how that changes things. For sure, there's been some accelerated manifestations and some mental insight, that intelligence that has been pointing things out to me that I didn't see, which have been really helpful for the ease and the flow of my everyday living here in New Jersey. So I'm looking forward to doing some personal work today. I didn't get to it yesterday. Serving my mom, being a caretaker is absolutely a huge role. You know, I realized I'm really a mom. Like, the only difference between me and other moms is that I didn't give birth, but I have an 86-year young kid that I take care of. You know, as my mom's capacities kind of dwindle a little bit, it's absolutely fascinating. Cleaning, cooking, shopping, laundry, going back and forth to the doctors, managing various elements and aspects of her life that she needs help with. I mean, and how women do it and work a full-time job, no wonder you're exhausted. I'm just like, wow, seriously. So that's a little bit about what's going on for me today. I hope you take some time to open up your mind, open up your heart, open up your arms and your hands and receive the gift. If somebody tries to give you something today, just say thank you. And if you find yourself pushing it back or saying no or doing any of those moments, just stop and say, okay, wait, no, thank you, yes, I'll receive your help. For me, I had to start with just letting people help me, like carry groceries or open the door or, basic things like that. That's how deep my resistance was to receiving the gift. And now, of course, it's at a slightly higher place. This is day 73.